Guys, please tell me I did not just pop up on the camera. In the chat, please. I hit the go live button and I just went on for about 7 minutes talking, thinking that I was live with you the entire time. And I apologize for that. I even read MASPTV's statement about maybe he froze. So now I understand why there was nothing else in there. Okay, back to the beginning. I'd like to clarify something. I was reading some of the comments from my video last night, and I was kind of hard understanding what some of the comments meant, why they were coming back like I was negating Serge's actual story. And maybe something I said gave that idea, or maybe the video was so long, there were parts that were missed on it. But I want to be clear, guys. I've known Serge for quite a long time. I have never doubted Serge's personal story about what happened to him at Flag, about the essay, about being put on the RPF. My brother, Justin, was actually on the RPF with Serge. So I know that story from Justin. I know that story from Serge. I know the story from Serge's ex-wife. So if I gave you guys the idea somehow that any part of Serge's story I doubted, that's not correct. That is not correct at all. I don't doubt Serge's story. I'm not going to get into the purpose of my video last night any further, because I do think it doesn't really serve a purpose at this point. Me commenting on other people's content isn't a good look. Doesn't help anybody. Do what you want to do. If there's something that's particular to me, that's a fact I want to correct, well, I may go on and correct something along those lines. But commenting on someone else's content, not my deal. I think Serge is actually doing a fantastic job. I truly believe kids do not have a right to consent and should not be anywhere near a Church of Scientology or anywhere near the Sea organization. I think L. Ron Hubbard's policy by nature are destructive to children and adults alike. No children should be in Scientology. And I think I've stated that several times. Also on the subject of trafficking, because a few people I saw comments mentioned that you think that Serge is lying about trafficking. No, I don't think he's lying about trafficking. Trafficking is a real thing. It does happen in Scientology. It does happen in the Sea Org. Now, until 2 years ago, I didn't call it trafficking. I called it child slave labor. Now, those things are essentially, unless I'm wrong, basically the same thing. I just called it by a different name. It is slave labor, and it's child slave labor. So I did review my video last night to make sure that I did not at any point say that it wasn't child trafficking. And I did not say that. It is child trafficking. And I even said that. And I said that along with the two other points about Scientology and the Sea Org that I think are the most egregious, which is, one, making the assault victim guilty for what happened to them through sec checking or auditing. That is just disgusting. And two, not reporting people to the correct authorities so that they can be removed and taken out of a position where they can continue to assault innocent children. Okay, that happens on a regular basis. That's completely provable, and that is a fact, and it is disgusting. It also happened to Danny Masterson's victims, as you all know, and that's been covered in detail. And that's something I did not know about before watching SPTV. I did not know that was a regular occurrence, and it's something I've learned newly, and I actually appreciate learning that. And it's something I want to cover too. It's something I want to talk more about, how that sort of thing can happen in Scientology, how a predator can get there and get into a position where he can do things like that. So it is something I'm going to cover. That being said, that's all I'm going to say about my video last night. And I hope that clarifies it for some of you. Seriously, though, I was talking for 7 minutes and I was wondering why the chat completely stopped. So I apologize for that. I had clicked live. I thought I went live. I was not live. Again, I don't normally look back at the screen. I do look at the comments, and on the left side of the screen, there's actually a little live tag, and I did not notice that. So for that, I apologize. Guys, I do have a hard out at 8:30 tonight. I have a dinner at 8:45. So I'm going to start going through some of the questions. I already did go through some of the questions. I'm going to go through them again. Okay, so let's see. And Chemist, I believe that's your name, Chemist. You've been going hard at me all day long. I'm pretty hard and a little bit nasty. I think you're even going, I'm Team Serge. Like at any point I'd even said that I was opposite Team Serge, or that I was against Serge, or that I didn't believe anything he said. That wasn't the case. So I think you went a little bit hard on that. And that's your freedom to do so. That is your freedom to do so. If you do not like me or my content or my opinions, you are welcome to unsubscribe from me. I do not have an issue with that. And I will not erase your comments either. I will not take them down. I will not block them. I don't do that. I believe in freedom of speech. You can have your opinion. I think a lot of people who went onto my page and commented, and then we're not talking all positive ones, a lot of negative ones about what I said. They're negative in that they're negative about what I said. I don't believe they're actual negative comments. Some of them took it a little deep, went a little personal, which is again, your freedom to do so. Some of them made some really good points that I took a hard look at and went, you know what? Doing content policing on other people is not a good look. It's not appropriate. It's not something I want to do again. It's not something I'm going to do again. Okay. I'm done with that. So I do appreciate you guys that did spend the time to write stuff. Some of you got a little vicious and nasty. That's your right to do that. Didn't appreciate it, but hey, you know, we can't all get along perfectly. So let's see what we have in here. Jazzy J. Showing grace can sometimes be a challenge, but in my life has always proven the best course of action, not easy or comfortable. No, guys, it's not easy or comfortable. It is hard to do. It's something you have to learn to do. It's something they definitely don't teach you inside Scientology, and it's something you have to practice. I was kind of fortunate to have a long conversation with a close friend moments before I arrived here to do my live. You know, I have several people that are confidants that I talk to, because I do. If I did something that I think offended or was wrong, I'm the first person to introspect and look back at it. I really am. I don't like being unfair or not giving people their voice. So I did look back at it, and I think the choice to do such content and videos where I'm judging the content of other people does not work out. But again, to clarify for those of you that may not watch all the way through to this point in the video, never was I speaking about Serge's personal experience, the essay that happened to him, his time on the RPF, which I've already made clear. The RPF is possibly the worst thing I've ever seen or experienced in my life. Putting a child on the RPF is unforgivable for me. In that case, I would think a parent should step in and do something. But we'll cover more about brainwashing and that sort of stuff later, because I do believe some parents were just lazy and ditched their kids. I also believe that some parents truly believed they were doing what was best for their child. They didn't even realize it was illegal. It's just how Scientology works, especially when you grow up in it. You don't even realize. A lot of us have great 20/20 vision in hindsight, and I think that's wonderful. But when you're there, trust me, you just don't understand some things. You really don't. You really don't. So here, let's continue with the questions. Thank you so much, Jazzy J. I appreciate that. Okay. Hot Mess Express. Hi all, it's dinner time here, so going. But wanted to pop in and ask that people please be respectful, because Sterling may have a harder time processing the truth of what happened to him. Well, thank you so much. Thank you for saying that. Again, you know, when I first started on YouTube, I came in firing and talking about some of my experiences, and some of my experiences were different than other people's experiences at the same location. And that offended some people. And I immediately made a change to my dialogue. And I would say I'd preamble in front of every statement I would make about a particular situation, that what I am saying should not take away from another person's experience at that particular location. If we're talking about the Int-Base Ranch, my experience there was far different than Megan's. A lot of that had to do with our age difference. A lot of it had to do with that. And I think what happened to Megan there was horrible. Horrible, disgusting, should never happen. We're working as a provender, pulling, you know, getting vegetables prepared for the gold base, you know, 5-6 hours a day, whatever it was, because I wasn't there when they were doing that full time. But whatever that was, is disgusting, especially when you tap in the fact that they were, one, spanking children, adults were, and two, they were not getting the appropriate education they should have gotten. Not good at all. I don't like that. There's no way that's good. And that's not a part of the ranch that I experienced. I experienced a different part being older. And I've covered that. I don't think I need to cover it again. Ingrid K. This whole week has been a shit show. Are we talking about all of SPTV content? My shit show yesterday? Are you talking about Reese's live today? I didn't catch the whole thing. I had it playing but muted. I always like to pop in and just say hi to Reese, especially if her facial expressions are showing she's going through something hard. She is a close and dear friend, and you know, I appreciate her so much. So if I can do that, I try to do it. Let's see what else we got. actual questions. Okay, this is what I was talking about, Matt Elliott. I read that, and I think it was near that point I realized something was wrong, because all of a sudden there was no longer any comments anywhere. I'm like, that's no way. I'm always way, way behind. So thank you so much for saying that. Okay, let's see what we have in here. Not a lot of questions. Thank you for those saying smash the like button. I appreciate that, guys. I do appreciate that. Casey 429. Is it cold there? It is freezing here. It is 42 degrees outside. Now, I have a theory, and I could be completely wrong. 42 to California might as well be minus 20 to someone on the East Coast. But I do think it's all relevant, right? I think if you're used to 70-degree weather and it's 40, it might as well feel like minus 20. Correct me if I'm wrong. Any of you East Coasters, am I just a complete wimp, or does that make sense? Maybe I'm a complete wimp. Guys, I get cold easily. So I have a lot of jackets, and it is cold outside, and my hands are still cold right now just from walking in here. But there we go. There we go. Okay. Hello, Karen M. from Vancouver Island, BC. Hey, I have a complaint about Canada. My first complaint about Canada. What is the deal with your guys' passport and citizenship? Seriously, you guys are so strict on every minute detail when filling out those forms that if you even sign a signature outside a box, it will get rejected. Now, when I say rejected, that means you submit it, and 4 months later, you get a rejection because the loop on your G went below a line. Insane stuff. I've never experienced anything like that. Please, I hope to never do any Canadian paperwork again in my life. It is just so much work. But thank you so much for being here. Let's see what else we have. Yes, thank God. All this technology I have cannot overcome human error. I don't think technology can overcome human error. I think that's just life. Lacey Silver, but it wouldn't be a Sterling shit show. If there was not something technical related. Thank you so much. I don't know what it is, guys. Seriously. I keep computers for 20 years. I have cameras that are 15 years old. I never get a flat tire. My car almost never breaks down. It does get crushed by trees, but technical issues on this they're just unbelievable. I cannot believe how many times I have a technical issue. It does not normally happen in my life. I promise you. I promise you. What is it? BTs? I think someone said that. Human. I came in a little late. I missed something. You know what? You're actually lucky you did not miss anything, because I was 7 minutes into a monologue and then realized that I didn't double click the live button. So yeah, you got that, guys. You got that. Linda Lou, keyboard warrior. Hey, keyboard warrior. How you doing? Good to see you here. Good to see you here. Okay. Let's see. All right. You know what? Chemist, then why didn't you just call him, Sterling, and y'all talk it out privately? That's the best thing you've said all day. And you know what? You're right. That's what I should have done. That is absolutely what I should have done. I don't know why I didn't do that. I don't know why. And actually, that video did not start out to be that way, believe it or not. I was just going to comment on the subject of brainwashing, and it went that way. And I should have just called Serge. You're absolutely right on that. I don't disagree with you at all. I don't disagree with you at all. Okay, let's see. There are mods in here. Okay. Guys, I'm looking through the questions, so I appreciate. Let's see. Linda Lou, keyboard warrior. Chemist, I don't know if you belong here. Sterling definitely needs some mods. Hey, you know what? Thank you for looking out for me, Linda Lou. I appreciate that. Again, I had a big beef with how things were modded, how things were when the Aaron situation went down and the Aftermath Foundation did that video and people's voices were cut out. I'm okay with people's voices, dissenting voices even. I'm not okay with nastiness, because I have practiced, and I've tried not to be nasty in any of my content and none of my responses to people. So I don't think I deserve the nastiness back. I think I'm pretty fair about that with people. I'm fair about that with you guys. And of course, most of my experience with the chat, with my subscribers has been excellent. Last night was the first time I got a lot of negative feedback, and I had to look back and go, what did I do? What did I do that maybe created that? And when watching the video back again today, I realized that didn't look good. And I also realized it was a simple misunderstanding as well as to what I meant. Because again, there's no question about Serge's story whatsoever, about what happened to him in Scientology, about the trafficking his parents did. No question. That is factual. And if I miscommunicated that, that wasn't intentional. So let's keep going back. Here we go. What? Okay, so now we're into question and answer period. Caroline, great picture of your cat, by the way. Hi, Sterling. What was your favorite thing you've done since you left COS? Love viewing your channel. Traveling. When I was in Scientology, I never really got to travel anywhere. I got to go cross country once, driving a semi, a big rig. But being able to experience another culture, being able to go places I only saw in movies, I only saw on TV, and I only read about in books was absolutely the best thing. And some people don't like to travel. I found traveling just exhilarating. It is so much fun. I love meeting new people when I travel. It's travel. I like traveling. And also to clarify, since we're on the subject of traveling, the last 2 weeks when I was gone, when I had a hiatus and I only did one video, I was traveling. I wasn't on vacation. I was traveling. I was working, actually. And I was working a lot, which is why I didn't do any videos. And yes, I did a video one day of me on a jet ski, my day off. I had a day off. I do get days off. That's nice. That's the thing about not being in the Sea Org anymore. I get days off. So yeah, no, I wasn't on vacation. I wasn't living it up. I was actually working pretty hard. And I do work hard. It's one of the things I pride myself in. I'm a hard worker. And that's why I try to make, and I love coming and making time to do this, because you guys, the subscribers are unbelievable. You're fun to talk to. You're entertaining. You really got good questions. So Caroline, I hope I answered that question. Let's see what else we got. Jen Nelson. Hey, odd question. Have you ever been close to a shark? Yes. I have a deathly fear of sharks. They scare me. I haven't encountered a bear, and they're pretty vicious, but like if I see a mountain lion, doesn't freak me out. If I see a large dog, doesn't scare me. Sharks scare the shit out of me. But when I was in the Bahamas in 2007, my twin brother and I went there for our birthday. We decided to do, why don't we swim with the sharks? And so they throw a line out the back of the boat, and then everyone gets on the line and they throw chum in the water. I was the first person to go out on the line. Therefore, I was the furthest away from the boat. And I screamed when I saw the shark swimming underneath me, and I just panicked and went straight back to the boat. Guys, I'm a giant wuss when it comes to sharks. They scare the crap out of me. It's one of the reasons why I don't surf as much, because you never know what's underneath you, and it does scare me. So yes, I have. I have been close to a shark. I even have a video, I think, of me in a very shallow water in the Bahamas chasing a shark with my GoPro camera. And after I watched the video back, I was like, what was I thinking running after a shark? But anyway, so there we go. Let's see. Okay, Chemist, you are absolutely allowed to comment respectively about this. Yes, you are, Chemist. Let's see, Creepy B5, peace and love all. Thank you so much. Ingrid K, I understood you. Everyone is misinterpreting. Oh, thank you so much, Ingrid K. I don't know if everyone's misinterpreting, but I take responsibility for not being clear. But it's kind of a funny thing, because if you do watch my content, to think that I would do that in that way or negate someone that's a victim of SA is someone even I think commented today, oh, do you not believe Kelly Copter's story? Do you not believe Reese's story? I'm like, no, of course I do. In fact, I've said I can't wait to get on with Kelly Copter, and I want to hear her story one-on-one. Just like I wanted to hear Reese's story about her father one-on-one. That's really the content I like doing, because I do think I make a safe enough environment for someone to completely let go and talk about their trauma and what happened to them. And I like doing that. I really do like doing that. talking to Dylan Gill a couple weeks ago. I feel like he opened up, and I found out more about him in our hour-long talk than I knew about him in the previous 25 years. So there we go. It's something I do like doing. Jan, great question. Where's the question? Oh yeah, that is a great question. Okay. Let's see. Anna P, y'all need to rewatch the video from last night and stop tripping. Sterling kept saying, be careful about generalizing everything. It's a different story for each person. Thank you so much. That is what I said. But again, I take responsibility for not being completely clear. I do think some people definitely overreacted to it. But hey, there we go. That's what happened. You know what? Mary J, did this start early? Yes, it did. I had originally set it at 8 o'clock. I changed it to 7:30. I did at least give a 4-hour head start on the 7:30 time frame on this, but yeah, I apologize if I did that. It's because I had dinner plans that I wasn't taking into account. So I moved a little early. I hustled at work today so I could get home early, and I'm here. Thank you so much for asking. Human, I'm happy to be here in the chat with everyone. Thank you so much for being here, Human. I appreciate that. Okay. Nicole H, why should Serge call his abuser? Yeah, I don't think Serge in any way is required to call Mike Rinder at all. I don't think anyone should be required to do anything in that particular field, especially if they're a victim of SA. That's really your free choice to call someone. There's decorum, there are manners about certain things. And like Chemist pointed out, you know, I probably should have called Serge to talk to him about that, not done the way I did it. And, you know, I regret that, and I won't be doing that again for sure. Let's see what else we have. Sorry, Ken Cole 19. Oh my God, when did this start? I missed the notification. I'm sorry. I don't know why you're not getting my notification. I apologize. But you know, there we go. It did not. It started at 7:30. Okay. Let's see if we got other questions in here. Jenny Wong. Sterling, you are a straight up guy, and I have nothing but respect for you. Heart and koala bear. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. I really do. Rachel T, question. Do you think the Delphian school is the same as the Int Ranch? Because there is a YouTuber, Ella Catherine, who does boarding school related videos, but is not Scientology stuff though. Do I think it's the same in what? Yeah, that's a good question. So I did go to Delphi as a kid. I believe the curriculum at the Delphian school was far superior to the curriculum at the Int Ranch. And let me clarify what I mean by that. The Int Ranch, L. Ron Hubbard specified for Sea Org children that you only need to study the 3 R's, reading, writing, arithmetic. So that does not include science or history or anything of that matter. And so the education, as Mike Brown's pointed out, as Laura's pointed out, was horrible. And if I have the biggest complaint about the Int Ranch in my time there, was that the education really, really sucked. But I've also told you I spent most of my time in the encyclopedias reading subjects to get away from trying to study any Scientology that they wanted me to study there. I was not a big fan of studying Scientology. The Delphian school, I believe, is a pretty advanced school, but insidiously, it has Scientology datums built into it to course you in that direction, to get you to believing in Scientology. I could not attest to how good the curriculum is. I never graduated there, but I do know they definitely had and covered more subjects that would have been more valuable to learn than the Int Ranch did. The education at the Int Ranch sucked. No question about that. Great question, though. Thank you so much. Okay. Marla Dillard. Thankfully, the creator of the RPF is still alive and could be interviewed. Really? Such a great interview he did with Janice and Mark on our Scientology story. I did not know that. Are you serious that the person that created the RPF is still alive? I'm going to have to call Janice and ask about that. There's a person that owes some people some apologies. I mean, Jesus. Guys, I have stated since day one, and I've never been a fan. The RPF is one of the most disgusting programs. It's the closest you can get to a concentration camp, I think, ever in the United States of America. In recent history, of course. We're not talking about slavery. That's a whole nother subject. Okay. Creepy B, human, played at 1.5 speed. Yeah, play 1.5, catch up. I didn't start till 7 minutes late, so it's not, I didn't start at 7:30, so you don't have as much to catch up to, believe it or not. Okay. Marion Calabro. One thing I learned about watching all these channels is that everyone's experience was so different. Everyone should be free to express their feelings and opinions. Yes, I agree. Yes, I agree. And so that I'm not a hypocrite, I totally gonna agree, and I'm just gonna let that happen. It's not my point to correct other people. It's not good. It's not a good look. I'm not doing it again. Kelly BC, love your support for Reese Sterling. Thank you so much. I think I mentioned either yesterday or the day before that there's something that's endearing to me about to talk to and to try to help someone who was abused by a parent go through that and talk to them and see if there's something I can help. I don't know why that is. I don't know why that personality appeals to me. I don't know if I feel like I need to console them somehow. Guys, I didn't have a lot of complaints about my parents growing up. I think sans Scientology, they would have been pretty excellent parents. Being in a cult, they weren't wonderful, great parents, but I know they loved me and I know they tried. And that's all I can say about them. And I think people that did, I feel for people that had horrible parents, because you know what? So much of that is not in your control, and it really, really sucks. It really sucks. Ever since I was a kid, ever since I was 6, 7 years old, I have always worked with kids younger than me. So when my little brother was 3 or 4, I used to play baseball with the 3-4-year-olds as a kid. Even today, I run exercise classes for kids. I'm coaching Little League Baseball this year. I've always had interactions with kids and coaching in sports. It's one of the things I do enjoy. Had I had a chance to be a father, I think I might have done a decent job. How you see me here is how I would be with my children. I don't yell at them. I wouldn't yell at them. I could be tough about some things, manners for sure. But I wish I'd had a chance to do it. But I do really think that people that had bad parents or abusive parents need a little bit of help and someone to talk to. And when I can do that, I enjoy doing it. I do. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's see. Okay, Kim White. Sterling, you know your story. And I think with the current movement of those that grew up like Serge, Laura, and others was forefront in our minds coming last night. I appreciate your voice. Thank you so much. They have an entire different avenue, and I love that they're covering that avenue. It's different. Now, I got to tell you guys, and I'm sure you've all seen it, Laura's video with her dad ignoring her was a heartbreaker. And this is why I do believe disconnection is a major subject that should still be spoken about on a regular basis, because her father has disconnected from her for no good reason. For no good reason. Now, I understand he's brainwashed. I get that. But we're talking a whole nother level when you've completely disconnected from your child that's living in the real world. I find that disgusting. But I'm not going to comment on her father. I know Laura's father. I worked with him for almost 10 years. I know him pretty well. But that whole scenario, that whole scene where he kept walking and ignored her, I do wonder if that was premeditated. I'm not sure, but I wouldn't put it past Scientology to premeditatively do that. You've heard Aaron's story about how he pleaded with Scientology to just let him go and let his family go and just let them live their lives, and he promised he wouldn't say anything. They will go out of their way to hurt your family just out of malice, just because. And Laura's story with her father is proof of that. It's disgusting, and it is one of the things that I am going to continue addressing. Disconnection and breaking up families is a major subject I want to talk about. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Kim. Great question. Love you, Sterling. Thank you so much, Don Gibbs. I appreciate that. Question. I am cold. I think, well, wait a second. Now, Matt, you're from Canada. You're from up north, eh? So tell me, if it's 32 out in Canada and then it drops down to 10 degrees, is that really cold for you or not? Because if it's normally 72 here and it drops down to 55 or even 61, that's freaking cold in California. And I do know I'm a wimp, and I own it. Witness, it's so cold. I'm in San Diego. It is cold, guys. You're not going to argue. You're not going to convince me otherwise on that one. See, human from New York, living in LA. I do really think that once your body acclimates, the temperatures which would be warm in New York are now cold in LA. I believe that. I totally believe that. Tucson, Peggy Wolf. It's freezing in Tucson. I can't warm up. Tucson's really cold. Last time I was in Tucson, it snowed. Okay, it is cold there. Okay. I'm from Purple Haze. I'm from Ohio, where we experience all 3 seasons in 1 week, sometimes 1 day. Oh, that's insane. Oh my God. I wouldn't know what to wear. Here we go. Wow, that is cold for California. I lived in Encinitas. Encinitas is beautiful, KC429. I really love Encinitas. Here we go. Thank you so much for the super chat. Make it make sense. Lisa from Jersey. Thank you so much. Sterling, your experience is your experience. You are free to tell your story, as are others. You speak for yourself and no one else. Thank you so much. And I agree with you. I agree with you. Born Ancient. Hi from North Wales. How you doing? How cold is it in North Wales? Let us know. I want to know how cold it is there. Ben Savage. Question: is it your new microphone, or has your voice just gotten sexier? I may be a little hoarse because I was on the phone for about 30 minutes before I got here talking, and it was a very loud conversation. And now I'm here. But that being said, I did get the Rode X, and it is a microphone processor, so it does process the voice a little better. I've got controls over here on my right where I can adjust that sort of thing. I actually don't know what I sound like to you guys necessarily, but it is better. I don't know if sexy is the word for it. But thank you so much if you think so. Okay, what else? Let's see if we got any more questions, because I do have to. Well, we got 30 minutes. We're doing good. Onion Jaw. New to social media, but can already tell from seeing the same names on many channels that trolls are not just fictional. We need a game night. Yeah, trolls can be real. I haven't really experienced that much of them. Again, I do believe that people have a right to voice their opinion as long as they are polite and cordial about it. I think making personal comments is unnecessary. I try not to do it. Game night, it's coming, guys. It's coming. I am working with Aaron and Reese to kind of find a couple people we want to do that with, and then we're going to schedule. We're not going to do it on a weekly basis. It's a little tough to do that, but I'm hoping for, fingers crossed, we do once a month and we do a game night, and I want you guys to participate, and I want you guys to give us ideas, and I still have wonderful questions from Christmas that we're going to use next year, and we're going to mix up the group so it's very interesting. I think one of the best game nights we had was when we had the panel of 6 with Mike, with Tommy, with Liz, and we teamed up in groups. It was actually pretty hilarious, and I really enjoyed it. So we definitely got to do that again. I agree. Ken Cole. It's really cold here in Miami too. It's like 70 degrees and we were freezing. It was 40 here, then hell has frozen over. I was recently in South Florida. Man, when it gets 70 in South Florida, it feels cold. It really does. It's unbelievable there. Okay, what else we got? I'm gonna get to some questions. Verity. I don't know what that animal is. If you could tell me, that'd be great. Hi, Sterling. I'm glad you aren't going to review others again. You definitely have your own great content. You're a gracious man indeed. Looking forward to psychological aspects of this cult. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And yes, I'm going to stick to the things I really enjoy doing. Yeah, I'm going to do that. How about that? Okay, what else do we have? Any more questions? And make it make sense. Lisa from Jersey, please don't change equipment again. I'm going to try not to. I mean, it happens so much. It almost seems like I'm doing it intentionally, but I promise you, I am not. And I'm really good with technology. I'm really good. I would argue that most of my family is not, specifically my brother and my mom, who might be the worst at technology ever. She yells at me when I call her to give her advice about how to do something. But that happens, that's her. So there we go. You know what? This is an interesting question, interesting timing on it. I would definitely have Jenna on. Absolutely would, unquestionably. And I would have Jenna on and disagree with her if that's what it was. I would have Jenna on to give her views on things. I don't know how many times I do have to say it or how many times I've said it already. One of the best books that describes a child's experience going through the Church of Scientology and the horrible things they do is Jenna's book. It's always right here. I always have it right behind me. It is called Beyond Belief by Jenna Miscavige Hill. I have bought this book at least 10 times. I think I'm responsible for at least upwards of 20 sales of this book. I promote it everywhere I go. It's a fantastic book. It's a little self-serving because I'm also in it. But it is a really good book, guys. I mention it all the time. There's parts of this book that are really hard to read, and everyone has their different experience. The part of the book that was hardest on me was with Jenna and Dallas. And Mike Rinder's involved in that. Mike Rinder's involved in that part of the story when they tried to split Jenna and Dallas, when they tried to do the thing where they take them to opposite rooms and convince either one to not want to be with the other person. It is psychological torture. It is so horrible. It's one of the worst things they do in Scientology. It's in a very, very deep description in this book. So when you're reading that, make sure you have something good to do after, or because it might be a little harsh. But anyways, it's one of my favorite books. That's why it sits back there. I would love to talk to Jen at some point, but we'll see if that happens. We will see if that happens. Mary Dillard, what did you do to the trees? You know what? It's not fair because I've planted, I have, with my own hands, I think I've planted over 200 trees. I used to take care of trees. I'm a borderline tree hugger. It was not fair when a giant tree after a big rainstorm landed perfectly in the middle of my car, completely destroying it. Now, the lucky part was I was not in it. What was crazy, though, is I heard the tree crack. I was standing on a balcony behind the tree, and in slow motion, I kid you not, the tree slowly fell, and I watched the trajectory as it landed smack dab in the middle of my car. And the only reason my car was there was because someone took my parking spot. That's bad luck. Glass is half full, guys. Guess what? I got out of my lease. I was over on miles, and in the end, it all worked out really, really well for me. But nonetheless, it did happen to my car. Okay. Hot Mess Express, back from dinner, and now I need a forklift to roll my ass off this chair. That's pretty funny. That's pretty funny. Ken Cole, 19. What are you doing? You know what? I realize you guys, he's figured out the trick. He has figured out the trick. When you put it in all caps, I don't know why. I don't even read it. I pull it up for some reason. So if you want to get my attention, put it in all caps. What are you doing to pull this in, Sterling? Oh, I get those TRs in check. Is that the proper term? Oh, so close. You would never say in check. You would say get your TRs in. Get your TRs in. But yes, what are you doing to pull this in? Absolutely correct. That is correct. Oh, you're a student of these channels, aren't you? Okay. Nancy Alley. Not just anyone can come to Canada. Got to stay inside the lines. LOL. Right? What, you guys are so easygoing. What is the deal with that stuff? I don't even get it. I love Canadians, but man, you know what? That's it. I'm complaining about that one for sure. Yeah, guys, eating dinner this late. My only time besides my days off to do YouTube videos is when I get home from work. As I'm starving right now, by the way. So in case I get cotton mouthy, that is why. But yeah, I plan to do dinner late tonight. Go to my favorite Italian place, have a glass of wine, do all that kind of stuff. But I plan my dinner around this, and then someone called me, said, let's meet up. So it's a long story, but yes, I'm eating dinner this late. How do I stay thin with eating dinner late? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. Creepy B. Magnificent mod witness. Yes, she is. But guys, I don't know that she's modding, because isn't there supposed to be like a wrench down here? I don't know. Okay. Hockey Guy 228. Hockey Guy, I'm going to answer this question. I haven't read it yet. But before I answer another question from you, you need to put in the chat who your hockey team is. I really want to know. Hey, Sterling, more Scientology questions. Are you surprised we don't have more Michelle Stafford being in Scientology? More about Michelle Stafford being in Scientology? She's on Young and Restless every day and is the only one fairly visible, less than, say, TC. That's a great question. No one ever really talks about her. I don't know. I wish I knew. Maybe someone that worked at Celebrity Center. Maybe Nora knows. But I don't know. I wish I knew. I don't watch that show, but that's a great question. That's a great question. Ken Cole. Ken Cole 19, I agree. Sterling, they were blocking stuff left and right, and they were legit questions that should have been addressed, but they didn't want to answer. Yeah, that's true. That's very true. I agree. Mary J. Everyone cannot agree all the time. I am sure that Sterling never intended to hurt anyone. No, I didn't actually. No, I didn't. And I've been remiss. Serge and I were friends for a long time, and I can't even tell you why that fell out. I'm going to make an effort, whether he wants to or not. And if he chooses not to, that's his own choice. But I'm going to make an effort to reach out to him, because now the fact that we're both doing YouTube channels and both talking about this, I would really like to hear his entire story from him once again. I really would. Now that my mind's opened up more to the abuses in Scientology. Because again, before SPTV came out, guys, I did not know that a lot of SA was happening. I knew about few little instances at Golden Earth Productions, but remember, they compartmentalize a lot of information in Scientology so that it doesn't spread, which is another reason why a person that commits an SA can move from one location to another, and the people there have no clue that he had previously done those acts and would not even be on the lookout for it, and would put him in the vicinity of children or women, and it would be completely inappropriate. So that they compartmentalize a lot of information in Scientology, which is not good, but they do it to protect their own image, which is kind of sick in a way. And they purport to care about people and making it a better planet, but that's how they address those things. It's disgusting, guys. It really is. Jen Nelson, you skipped my question. No, I did not. I thought I read your question. If I did skip your question, go ahead and ask the question again. A lot of really Flutterby emerging. A lot of deleting and blocking happening on a lot of channels lately. Really, did not know that. Did not know that. Guys, I don't take people off. I don't unsubscribe from people. If I choose not to watch them, I don't watch them. Maybe I should do that, but I don't. There we go. Okay. Chemist. So normally Chemist, I wait till the end to read my super chats. I see them populate up there, but if they're in the list as I'm going through them, I'll answer them right away. Wow, that's a little gracious. Thank you so much. I can respect that, man. I'll leave, bro. Thanks for answering my questions. I didn't ask you to leave, to be clear. Not at all. Did not ask you to leave. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate that. I really do. Jasmine Kubel. Perfect. This is what I needed to hear. So let's say it was just an opportunity to learn and do better next time. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, it's a funny thing, and I'm not sure how many other content creators and SPTV share a particular view with me, but I never believe that we already know the best way to do everything. I mean, that even applies to me in baseball. I don't already think I know how to play the best position. I'm always trying to improve my skill set in softball and baseball and volleyball, whatever I do. I never do believe I'm the best at it, and I'm always willing to take a look back and change at it. And it's hard to do that sometimes. Admitting you're wrong about something is not easy to do. It really isn't. But it's something I've practiced. It's funny how you can practice things like this and actually change behavior to some degree. I really think it's important. Okay, Lacey Silver. Question, is there anything you would like to tell your younger self if you could travel back in time? Yeah, get out. Get out. This is a dead end. It's not going anywhere. It took me a while to realize that it wasn't going to go anywhere. I would have gotten out. And I've imagined this exact scenario several times. I really have. I would have gotten out, and I would have gone down and lived with either my Aunt Penny or my Aunt Prue in Orange County. And I would have grew up with my cousins there. I would have gone to high school. I would have played baseball, and who knows where I would have ended up. I might have been a geologist. I love geology, but I do think about that. And I would have told myself to get out and leave. I also would have told myself invest in Apple stock. I would have told myself to invest in Amazon stock. Maybe I would have just done one of those actually after I said get out. I don't know. I would have definitely told myself something like that. Back to the Future is a great film. I love that film. It always, as a kid, always had me imagining what I would do in certain situations. Okay. Let's see what else we got. Let's see. Sharon Gregg. That's a cool last name, Sharon. Hi, Sterling. I've been subscribed to you from the beginning. I love your content. You always said from the beginning that your experiences were different, but you never downplay anybody else. No, I will never downplay anyone else's, guys. And if my last night, my dialogue did that, it wasn't intentional. I'm not downplaying anyone's. I'm not going to comment on that anymore. I will help if there's facts, but I'm going to do it behind the scenes. If someone tells a story and I know there's a slight different thing or a different detail that may have been missing, I'm going to call them behind the scenes and say, you know what, I do know that person was also there, or this person was there, because we can't always remember things perfectly. And I know I definitely don't remember everything perfectly all the time. But I try to as hard as possible. And I'm always willing to people contacting me and saying, by the way, Sterling, I wasn't there. I'm like, oh, you weren't? If that's the case, I'm going to take your word for it for sure. I don't know what that means. Katie Pie. Katie Pie. If I'm killed by a mountain lion, just know my last words were, here, kitty, kitty. That's funny. Oh my God, that's really funny. Hot Mess Express at Sterling. I think Serge took offense with your video, even though you didn't mean it that way, because his experience is so different from yours. My suggestion is to reach out to him. He probably did take offense to it, and I probably will reach out to him. I think that's a great idea. We don't need to be fighting with each other. We need to be fighting against the Church of Scientology. So I think I will reach out to him. Whether he accepts the hand or not is really up to him. But I think I will reach out to him. I think I will. Thank you so much, Hot Mess Express. Okay. I don't know what that is, but we'll look at it. Rachel T. What do you do for work? I don't talk about what my exact function is, but I'm kind of a jack of all trades. And most people will interpret that as he probably works for the CIA. I do not work for the CIA, but I do mysteriously travel places and no one knows what I exactly do. I got started because of a friend, got me into that business. I got around the problem of, did I go to high school or college? When doing my interview, I think I was clear enough and upfront enough that the person interviewing me realized that I did not need to have those two pieces of education. Actually, that's a great question too, because I talked about Scientology in my original interview. And some people would say, why the hell would you do that? But I had a gap in my life that was inexplicable. So when I applied for the job I currently have, the person interviewing me was very intelligent and asked the question, why do you have a gap? And I said, well, to be honest with you, I was in a cult. I was in a cult for a long time. I left. This is a business. This is something I want to do. I did not get a high school education, but I'm a hard worker. And I think I can do a good job. And I believe, if memory serves, the response was, if someone went through something like that for so long and can at least on the outside appear as normal as you are, I think you may do a good job. And yeah, guys, the people I work for are some of the best people I've ever been around. And I think after working for tyrants in Scientology for my entire life, somehow, for lack of a better word, I pulled in some really good people to work for. And I'm always appreciative of that, which is why I put a lot of time in and I work as hard as I can. Here we go. Okay, yeah. No, jumping in water with sharks underneath you, terrible idea. Jaws scared the crap out of me, guys. When I was a kid, I could not go in the deep end of a pool. I would freak out and swim back to the shallow end. Okay, let's see what else we have. Any more questions? Yeah, a witness. Oh, I love Dylan. He has a very soothing voice. He does. I reached out to him today. I texted him. I haven't heard back from him. Hopefully I do, because I definitely want to do something with him again. Okay. Green Fairy. Hey, Sterling, love your channel. Do you think Justin is any closer to coming on for an interview? I think he's getting there. I'm not sure, though. I'm not sure. Sterling, do you have a piercing and a P? No, I don't. I don't have any piercings. I don't have any tattoos either. It never appealed to me for some reason. I don't know why. Just never did. I mean, sometimes it's like, ooh, maybe that would look cool, but just never. I'm also not a fan of needles. I can do shots, but not a fan of needles at all. So maybe that has something to do with it. She's doing the Running Man. Mastiff Mom Missy. Good evening, Sterling. Just came from Laura FM's live. She's doing the Running Man in front of the Tessie Center. I'm gonna have to go see that actually, because I have a feeling she can dance. I cannot. What else do we have here? Jazzy J. I love diving. Did all over the world. Got scared once by a humpback whale of Hawaii, but when I came across great white sharks in Australia, I was so done. Yeah, I would be done too. Seriously be done. Not even close. Born ancient. I've never met a perfect or ordinary human yet. Your ability to reflect is admirable, honest and authentic. Can't ask for more from anyone. Respect. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Among other things I'm working on in 2024, another one is to stay in better contact with people that over the period of COVID, I let go. And for whatever reasons, I can't totally explain. There was a lot of stress and pressure for me under COVID. I basically became reclusive. I was not talking to or really hanging out with many people during COVID. And so one of my things is this year is to reach out. I spent almost 2 hours on Christmas morning texting every single person I could on my phone. And if I forgot you, I apologize. I was trying to get to everyone to make sure I wished them a Merry Christmas. And so I'm going to work on that for this year. Really am. Thank you so much. Great statement. Jen Nelson. Sorry, almost there, Jen. Witness, once again, congrats on getting kicked out of Delphi. Guys, I got kicked out of 2 Scientology schools. I did not like being told what to do. Ooh, no surprise there. Jen Nelson, thank you so much for the super chat. You didn't have to do a super chat to get me to answer this one. It's a sports question, but thank you for the super chat. Who you rooting for in the Super Bowl? Me, go Steelers. I do like the Steelers. I want to see how this next week plays out. I'm rooting for the Eagles, but you know what, guys? They kind of suck right now. I don't know what's going to happen. I do not want the 49ers to win. That is for sure. Cowboys, 49ers. I apologize to anyone in here that is a Cowboys fan. But I do not want the Cowboys or 49ers to win. That being said, I'm noticing Atkins in Texas isn't here, and I hope I did not offend her. She is one of my favorite people. She has sent me so much fascinating poetry, book suggestions, all that kind of stuff. So I hope that she does come back and she's back in the chat, because I do really appreciate her being here. Okay, human. Question, Sterling. If you are ordering a burger, what does it sound like? Any sides? LOL. Okay, a quirk I have, guys, related to burgers. I always get the burger well done. I'm always gonna, if I can get cheese on there and grilled onions, I'll do it. I'm gonna get lettuce. I'm gonna get tomato. I'm not gonna do raw onions. I don't like that. When I order it with fries, if you bring me a burger and there's fries on the side, I cannot touch my burger until I've eaten all the fries. It's really weird. I don't know why. I don't know when it happened. One time I was at dinner with some friends and I didn't notice, but I was watching a game and they were sitting next to me and they had fries and I was eating my fries, and I had told them the story previously. They were taking their fries and putting them into my fry section without me seeing. And so I kept eating fries for about 45 minutes. And I finally was like, there's no way. And I looked down and these guys were laughing because they were filling my fry bin. And I really will not touch my burger until I finish my fries. It's so strange. I don't know where I got that from. It's such a quirk. Okay. And Matt Elliott. Yes, I actually like the Bills too. Guys, I like a lot of teams. So Kestrel 42. So Delphi was just the better of crappy options. I would guess so. I think their curriculum was way better. But if you're mixing Scientology in there, I don't know that it's way better. How weird is it growing up? And when you started reading books, you were told the only way to understand them is to do it the Scientological way, where you have to clear all your words and do sentences. I would have really loved to have started life not with that information, because I think it's also obvious that you should actually look up a word to understand what it is. But doing all the sentences drove me nuts. And then clearing every definition, even though it didn't apply to what you were reading at that moment, drove me crazy. I hated it. I really hated it. Okay. Robbie Starks. Question: how do Scientologists afford to fly all over the world for courses? Surely not working when they're on course. Great question. I don't know. I don't know that they fly all over the world. I believe that when you get to a certain level, you're flying to Florida. You're flying to Flag. And yeah, I don't know how they spend money for the services at Flag, spend money on the hotel at Flag, away from their jobs, unless they're doing that during their vacation. Maybe that's what it is. But God, that's a lot of money to spend for crap nothing. Okay. All right, let's see what else we got here. Guys, thank you so much for all the questions. Super clerk. My takeaway last night was a son defending his parents. Thank you so much. I actually tried to not make that the point last night. I do get defensive about my mom. I do. And I love my mom. And part of that is that I know I don't have a ton of time left with her. But I'm trying not to let that fact adjust my critical thinking of certain stuff. I do get offended when people make statements about my mom that are not true or not verified or not accurate. But I'm trying to pull away from that. I want to be unbiased in my views, and I'm not saying I'm biased. I'm just saying I do have a protective thing about my mom. That is a fact, and I think you guys obviously notice that when you watch me speak to her and stuff like that. So there we go. Sinkay, just to clarify, Sinkay, I'll get back to you one second. Just to clarify too, one of the comments today, or 2 or 3 made comments about how I was treated differently because of my family name and my parents. You don't watch my videos at all if that's the comment you're making. Guys, I'm a Tompkins. My last name was never Miscavige. I got the shit end of that deal when it came to that. Marty Rathbun didn't even know I was a Miscavige when he came down one time to give Justin special treatment. In the latter part, I was one of the last ones standing at Golden Era Productions when Biddy had left, when Ronnie had left, when Jenna was in Flag or Australia, when Justin had left this organization. I was it. And so I was Dave's target for a long time because of that. I had no air cover, no protection. Besides that fact, Dave just hated me. So I didn't really get preferential or special treatment because of my last name. I had to work for everything I got in my life in Scientology. I really did. Nothing came to me easy. And it's been that way a lot of my life. So I do enjoy what I have now. But for those of you that wanted to take it a little bit too personal and make those comments, that had nothing to do with what I was saying or what I was doing. Absolutely zero. Thank you so much. Katie, Sin K. Hi, Sterling. I'm just a little late. I love your shows and your positivity. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Janie L. Hi, Sterling. Greetings from San Diego. Glad to catch your live stream. I missed a few. Sorry. You don't have to apologize. Thank you so much for being here. San Diego is one of my favorite cities in California. The people there are so chill and awesome. I love San Diego. Yeah, Katie Pie, it's some of the hardest, most trauma-inducing experience one can go through when a parent is abusive. And I know that from my conversations with Reese. I think I really understand that from my conversations with Reese. And I want to talk to Serge about his relationship with his dad, because I know his family and his description of his father and what happened. It took me not half a second to absolutely go, I could see that person doing that. I could absolutely see Serge's father treating him that way. I'm not fond of Serge's father anyway. So there we go. As a twin mom, so I'm sorry, I don't understand yours. And, I've heard a lot of comments about that, about splitting us up, but you know what? I could make her pay for that for the rest of her life. And you're right. It is not, there's no logical reasoning where you could come to the conclusion that a mom splitting up her twin kids was right. You can't. And I don't think she would tell you it was right. And for moms out there, and even, another comment that was made today, which I really appreciated, which was true to some degree, is, and my family members have said this themselves. My aunts on my dad's side have said this. One thing they can't understand is about Scientology is that if anyone ever told them that their kids were bad people, that their kids were suppressive people, that their kids should be shunned or ignored, there's not a chance in hell any of my family would shun their own children. So they have a hard time understanding why my dad shuns me and why my stepmom shuns me. But that's brainwashing. It doesn't make my father a good person. It doesn't even necessarily make him a bad person. He is brainwashed. It sucks because you can see in my father's eyes when I do see him, when I do speak to him, you can see a little bit of that question, a little bit of that, am I doing the right thing? And that even makes it hurt more. It is not a fun experience when someone you do love, a father that did not abuse you, refuses to talk to you. It's hard, but I do believe in the power of brainwashing. And what I would like to know is, what can we do to unbrainwash people? What kind of content can we create that makes a dent in that brainwashing? Because it is brainwashing. It absolutely is brainwashing. But to all the parents out there that can't understand that, I feel you. I understand that you can't understand that. I do get that. I don't justify that for my mom. I do not justify that for my mom, guys. I also was not old enough, I think, at that time to really notice the difference, because I went with my dad at that point, and I grew up with my dad. A little bit later, I do distinctly remember missing my mom. I do remember that feeling kicking in. I also miss my brother. Okay, I really did. Jenna wasn't born yet, so that's why she's not mentioned in the missing part. Here we go. Okay. Pebbles S, watching because of your thoughtfulness and kindness with Reese. You seem very authentic, and I appreciate that. Well, I hope so. I try to be like this. Again, I've said I'm not perfect. I have a temper. I can ramble on about things, but I'm reflective. I do understand that if a certain reaction was created, I maybe said something wrong or did something wrong, and I'm willing to fix that. Okay. Let's see. Joel Orlando. I've never heard that first name. Why does it seem that most ex-Scientologists are atheists? Is it because of the false religion taught in Scientology? Yeah, I would say I can't speak for everybody. I cannot speak for everybody, but for myself, you have an aversion to organized religion after you are in Scientology. At least I did. But also, they don't really believe in a God or anything along that line. So when you leave any religion that is monotheistic, you don't go, oh, that's where I'm going to go. At least I didn't do that. I tend to believe in aliens. Guys, I really do. Not Scientology's version of the aliens, but I do believe in aliens. There was a wonderful live, I think, that Aaron did a couple days ago where he talked about the crazy dichotomy that in Scientology, they believe in aliens. They really do. But if you talk about aliens well in Scientology, they think you're crazy. Go figure on that one. I'll never understand that, but it absolutely makes sense. Great question. Thank you, Katie Pie. I'm not going to pull that up because I want to get to some more questions, but I appreciate that. I'm going to enjoy coaching a bunch of kids this year in baseball. We'll see how I do, though. All right, I might suck as a coach. I might think that all the baseball information I have that I gained over 47 years, some of it outdated, might still work. What these kids know today is ridiculous. I mean, the techniques, the video, the replays, the position, arms, your step, all these things are so crazy. Yeah. Anyways, there's a lot of technology to baseball these days. Yes. See, philosophy. LOL. People who don't have children always have all these ideas about the parent they would be, but truth is you don't know until you are one. It's easy to be good in theory. I agree, but one thing you will not find, especially on my dad's side of the family, you'll not find, for whatever reason, I enjoy being in the company of children and am good with children. I understand children. I understand that they're just a child and that they're going to say or do things that we may find offensive, but let that go. I also am a little bit of a child myself sometimes. So for whatever reason, I could imagine I'd be a good dad. You never know until you're there. I agree. But in the jobs, in my last 15 years of my jobs, I have always been connected to children. I've coached Little League soccer matches or school soccer tournaments and stuff like that. So, I'm good with kids. I kind of am good with kids. My job requires me to be around kids. So if you were bad with kids, you wouldn't last on the job that long. I can assure you of that. So there we go. Okay, let's see. Pause for Andrea at Born Ancient. I agree completely. Well said. Everyone makes mistakes. Sterling holds himself accountable and is respectful. People need to listen and not jump to conclusions, be so judgmental. I kind of agree. I did feel there was a little bit of a jump to conclusions on some things, but again, that was that individual person's understanding. And the way I spoke yesterday, I understand how that could have been conveyed in that way. And if you don't know me personally, you could assume that that's what I was saying, but I would never say that about someone's own personal story. Never, 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 never. Here we go. Thank you so much, Margie Barr. I'm going to leave that one there. Okay. So guys, I'm at 103. I can go to 110 and still make it to dinner. It's LA. You're supposed to show up casually late. But let me see, guys, if you have any more actual questions. I really do appreciate all the compliments. I really do appreciate everyone chiming in, and I appreciate your feedback. But if you have any actual more questions, let me know, and I'm going to answer those. Put them in bold. Put question in there. I appreciate it. Oh, hey. Atkins in Texas. Here listening as always. Important stuff went down today. Yo, feel like just listening and hoping for healing for everybody. Well, Atkins in Texas, thank you so much. I'm not just being nice to you. I find your comments, your contribution means something to me quite a bit. And that doesn't mean everyone's doesn't mean something to me, but yours does. I appreciate the suggestions you've given me and that you go out of your way to do that. So thank you for being here. I do appreciate that. Question. Oh, you know what? Hockey guy 228. You still haven't told me what your team is. What is the quote unquote correct way to leave Scientology if Aaron didn't do it correctly? Oh, are you referring to the fact that he tried to get Scientology not to disconnect and ruin his family? There's no correct way to leave Scientology. None. They're going to do whatever they can to make it painful for you, especially if they fear you. Aaron did something I don't think a lot of people do, in my opinion. He asked them politely to please not do what he knows they normally do, and they straight up rejected him. And karma sucks for them, right? It really does. It really, really does, because Aaron is a thorn in their ass. Here we go. Let's see. Comment. Make it make sense. Lisa from Jersey. Hey, from Jersey. Comment. I'm amazed you emerged so well, Justin, and empathetic after leaving. I attribute a lot to nature, but I suppose kudos to you, your parents, for some of it. Glad you are who you are. Yeah, I'm going to give a little bit of credit to my parents and to my family in general, because a lot of them are that way, nurturing, understanding, and so it did help. But you know, everyone's different. You know, I'm a lot different than my twin brother Justin, believe it or not. We look at things in much different ways, but we also agree on a lot of things. But we fight a lot, actually, my brother and I. You know, I'm also working on it. This is not I showed up on YouTube and I'm like this. I've worked on this. I've mentioned in earlier lives that for a couple of years, hate was a large part of my heart, and it did not help. It was toxic. It was toxic to me. It didn't help the person that I disliked. It didn't help me. It aged me. It made me miserable, and all just because I was hurt over what someone did to me. I was playing the victim on what someone did to me, and it was under my control, and I could have done something about it earlier, and I could have done it. So that lesson took me 3 years to learn, and I'm here now talking to you guys where I'm at right now, and part of it is because I learned that lesson. But it did take me 3 painful years, and it was very personal to me, and it was very hard, and I'm still recovering from it to some degree. But thank you so much that's a very nice comment. I appreciate that. So cool. Big Bear. Okay, let's see if there's any other questions. Jazzy J. Canadians are made of sterner stuff. Hee. Sterner. That's funny. That's a nickname that I get called by a couple friends of my little brother. It can change 40 degrees in one day where I live. It keeps things interesting. Oh yeah, it does. Let's see what else we got. Yes, Ken Cole 19. Disconnection is awful and should be addressed. But when you are taught that parental connections aren't important and you suppress it, can the person be judged that harshly? That's very nuanced. That's very nuanced. I think it depends on how it goes down. I think it depends on how it carries itself out, in what way the disconnection happens, because sometimes it can be pretty vicious, sometimes it can be pretty light, but in no condition is disconnection ever a good thing to me, ever. I mean, of course, if someone's toxic and you choose not to have them in your life, that's another story. That's not disconnection. That's not what we're talking about when we talk about Scientology and disconnection. 8:10 p.m. Ing Ong. Did I miss much? Maybe a little bit. Let's see. The inappropriate heifer. Hey, why is this the first time I'm pulling you up today? The inappropriate heifer. It was interesting being in all the chats and watching the same people that are there too, but with different demeanors depending on which one they are in. I'm having trouble stomaching it. Interesting. Okay. I'm assuming that some people were pretty angry at me in this afternoon, and that there was a lot of comments about me, which I didn't watch or look at. I knew when reflecting on it during the day that I needed to clarify things I said. I just didn't and couldn't do it during the day because I was working. And people may have said some very hurtful things, and there was comments on my particular video that were, some of them got a little personal. But you know, I mean, okay. If I wasn't, you know, don't go near the water if you don't want to get wet. I know that is a side effect of being on YouTube. And I know that speaking off the cuff like this to a live audience, people make mistakes. They really do. And I'm not impervious to that whatsoever. Someone did say though today that they've listened to me for a long time, and now they listen to me, they realize I'm not as smart as I sound. which I don't think I sound smart, which I thought was actually pretty funny. So apparently I've dumbed down a little bit. I'm gonna have to put away my thesaurus. I thought that was helping me sound smarter, and I apologize if I sound dumber. Okay, let's see what else. Okay. Matt Elliott. Remember to take the hat off for the date. That's something we have to discuss later. I don't believe that theory. I think we discussed that with Aaron once. No, I don't take my hat off if I'm on date. I got nothing to hide, guys. I got a head of hair. I think it's thinning a little bit now, but I do have a head of hair. Luckily, with a little help. Okay, let's see what else we got. We're gonna hit the 115 mark. I'm sure of it, because then I'm gonna run out of here. Definitely game night, Rachel T. We're working on that. Okay, how far behind am I? I'm gonna just bounce to the end and then move back upwards. Where's Blake Reed? Mischief Managed. Just wanted to say, I'm going to pull this up. Sorry about that. Mischief Managed. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Cute cat too. I just want to say I love you. I'm so happy that your channel is doing well. Hashtag SPTV keyboard word. Thank you so much. That's a sweet compliment. I appreciate that. DNV 1983. Is Jenna's book on Audible? Ooh, I should know that. I think it is. And I don't know who read the book, if she did or not. Let me just check. Because, of course, I have her book on Audible as well. There's no question about that. If it's on Audible, I have it. Not going to waste too much time looking for it, but I think it's on Audible. I'll have to ask her. SPT. Your show wasn't a shit show yesterday, dear. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Pause for Andrea. Sterling, sending love to Jenna. Her story is heartbreaking, like so many others. I hope we get to hear more from her. Yeah, her story is very heartbreaking. It really is. Okay, let's see. Getting there, almost at the end. Cool, I want to read it. Yeah, DNV, you should read it. You really should read it. It's an excellent book. Okay. Wait a second, Matt. Sterling, don't lie. You got the chainsaw out, didn't you? Ooh, I missed that joke. There's the punchline, but I missed the joke. But thank you so much. Donna Rehai. The damage can do to a child is phenomenal. The person that should love them and that they look up to and love, when that person is abusive to a child, it's hard for the child to reconcile. Yeah, I agree 100%. I really do. There was a girl that I really liked and I was interested in, and she would talk about her father sometimes. And I always wondered if there was some sort of abuse in there somewhere, because something didn't hit right. And I do think it takes a pretty big toll on people. If I'm out at a shopping mall and I see a parent yelling at a kid or smacking him in the butt or not understanding the kid may just be hungry or tired, it's not suggestible to interfere and tell the parent they're doing wrong. I will never do that. That's a ticking time bomb. What I will do is give them the stink eye and let them know that I'm watching what they're doing. So in case they try to take it a little further, they don't. Chow Yun Smut. Sterling, have you heard about the SP cruise or gotten my email about it? I maybe did get your email. I'm catching up on them. Let me check into that. I didn't know there was an SP cruise. I will look into that and I will answer your email. I promise. Okay, I think we're really close to the end, guys, and I am starving. Awesome. Kenneth, I just checked Amazon. Jenna's book is on Audible. Wonderful. Then I have it too. I don't know who reads it though. I really wonder. I think she reads it. Maybe. I don't know. Okay, this is Fura Lunaris. I think this is the first time I've seen you on here. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you so much for the super chat. Question: did you or anyone you knew growing up have pets? How are animals viewed in Scientology? I can't imagine a cult that harms children would have positive view on animals. Oh, that's a great question, and I need to do a video about that. They were real okay, where I was at, I don't know about Flag, and I'm interested to hear about Florida. But where I was at, they were real dicks about having pets. Like they were grandfathered in to some degree. Some people had pets earlier; they were in. I fought. I was told I could not have a pet. I told them to get lost. I got a pet. I had a beagle named Snoopy and a small chihuahua named Yoda. I fought to get that. I spent whatever money I had fixing up my apartment. They stayed in my balcony while I was there. There's a long story what happened with all that, but I do think, you know, in some cases, I don't know exactly how Scientology views animals, but in my particular location, animals were prohibited to some degree, except for Dave had his animals. But yeah, it's a longer story to that, but it's a good question. It's a very good question. Thank you so much for asking them. Okay. Let's see. We're almost there. Okay. On, I think. Mitch, guys, I'll be on with Mitch tomorrow. Just, you know, we're going to be talking about something. I don't know exactly what it is yet. It'll be in the middle of the day tomorrow, which is rare for me to do in the middle of the day. Michelle S. is brilliant at staying out of controversy. Maybe he knows something about Michelle. That's interesting. That is interesting. She's in a show that's all about drama, but she stays out of drama. That's fantastic. That's a skill. No way. Mitch, I don't believe that. Mitch Britzker, she's probably donated more cash than Nancy Cartwright. Ooh, that would be interesting to know. That would be interesting to know. I'm surprised about that. Did you see yesterday's Serge's interview on the streets of LA? No, I did not. I saw the very end of his video, which was really cool when he was walking away and he had a giant smile on his face. I did not see his interview. I did not know he interviewed him. I thought he was out there talking to the cops, which is what I saw, but maybe that was the day before. Okay. What kind of dog is my favorite? Basenji. Basenji is my favorite dog. Okay. Regina Smith. Hey Sterling, sorry I'm late. No, you're almost right there. You're perfect. Good to see you, Regina Smith. Kestrel 42, ignore the drama, Sterling. You'll be happier. Yeah, ignore the drama. How about not create drama too? I'm gonna work on that one. Okay. Okay. Let's get through the rest of this. Ooh, Jen Nelson. Mitch. Hi, Mitch. I have an interesting story about Michelle Stafford. I'll leave it on your page. Good. Cool. All right, guys, I'm going to get near the end here. I think you guys are talking to each other. Thank you so much. Okay, cannot forget this one. Marilyn Honig, coffee, Colts and crafts. Hi, Sterling. Thank you for the heart, Marilyn. Marilyn, I would love to talk about coffee with you because you put that in your title, and I'm a big coffee snob and fan. So if we get a chance sometime, I would love to hear about it, Marilyn, why you put coffee in your title. Okay, let's see. You know, Mitch, yes, I did a couple of films with Michelle. Actually, she was in Scientology films before anything else. I remember seeing her at the base. So I do think that's who I saw at the base once. I did see her. She's stunning. She was stunning. I was a kid. She was an adult, but she was stunning to me. So yeah, there we go. Okay. Sharon Grog. I hope you didn't take my comment wrong. I only meant absolute respect and love. Are you referring to the comment you left on my video last night? And no, I didn't take. I really didn't take much offense to anyone's comments. I understand that you guys have a voice and you wanted to say something, and you know, and it's unfortunate I was misunderstood in that. It's not what I meant. Some of the comments though did get personal and vicious, and you know what? That's your choice to do that. Can I make a suggestion? Step away from that sort of anger. It doesn't serve you or anyone else. Definitely doesn't help us out. There we go. Okay, let's see. Last little bit. I promise you I gotta go. And there's the text message. Oh, but we're waiting for a table. So, okay, good. Okay, good. I got a little more time here. We're waiting for a table. Let's see. I'm going to actually get to the end of this. I'm going to get the little scroll bar down to the bottom. What else do we got? Okay. Hey, that's not fair. That's not fair. And Casillas, well, damn, I was going to hire you to trim all the trees in my place. No, it wasn't by lack of any maintenance that this tree fell. It was a hereditary problem with the tree, and that it had a very low crotch. Oh, I'm going to get technical with you guys. Had a very low crotch, and water was running down there and softening the soil and rotting the roots out underneath. So it had nothing to do with pruning. In fact, it was one of the most magnificently pruned trees. So if you ever need me to prune your tree, oh yeah, I'll come do that. I need to remember the knots though. I've forgotten how to do all the knots. Okay. Mitch is in the house. Yeah, hey, Miss Sunrise Dawn, Mitch, I'll have your book on Thursday. Can't wait. Guys, please read his book. It's a fantastic book. It's really interesting. It's another take on a bunch of different parts of Scientology from his particular point of view, which is different than most. And I appreciate all points of view from people on the subject. So, witness, does Justin really exist? I don't know. Do you know? I don't know. Maybe not. I think he does. Okay, guys, getting near. Witness, Rosalind C. Witness, if pictures are to be believed, Justin is a Sasquatch. So true. So true. And Katie Pie, damn, really? Wow, that's a lot. That's a lot. Okay, what else do we have here? Last ones. Yes, I was scared of Jaws too. Guys, if you weren't scared of Jaws, is there something wrong with you? Maybe. Sarah Browett, COVID, world's PTSD. You know, that's a subject I would like to talk about. I wonder if my time in Scientology affected how I reacted to that. I don't remember getting COVID. I got sick once. I might have it near the very beginning. I'm still not sure. I never got tested on it. I don't get sick that much, but it took a toll on me. It was rough. Being segregated, not having a way to go out after you've had freedom. Maybe it tracked me back and triggered me back to not having the freedom inside Scientology, because all of a sudden you lost the freedom to some degree, and it was rough. It's something I should definitely cover. It was brutal. It was brutal. Goosebumps 801. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year's to you too. What else do we have here? Thank you, Ken Cole. K-Fic 89. Oh my God, me too. I tried to send a Merry Christmas to everyone to touch base. It's not easy to do, and then I didn't do it on New Year's. What a dick. But anyways, I did do Christmas. Christmas is my favorite holiday. So, okay. Question. You got an ear pierced? Oh, you know what? No. Is it this side? I don't know what that is. I think I don't know what that is. Oh, maybe it's blood. Oh, Jesus. I don't know what that is. Thank you so much for asking, though. Okay. K-Fic. Go Eagles. Yes, please. I don't think they're going to do good, but go Eagles. That's because I don't have your number, Marilyn. But you would have been on my list. Okay. All right, guys. I think that's it. To be fair and balanced, I am going to pull up the Cowboys. To be fair and balanced, Caroline Wilson, go. If it's Cowboys 49ers, I'm rooting for the Cowboys. I don't like the 49ers at all. Okay, what else? Let's see. Tracy Not Tuggy, Cowboys, yes. Hey, Sharon Gregg, I would love for the Lions to win too. I would love for the Lions to win. I think that is Huxley's favorite team, Reese's son, and that would be cool. That'd be cool. Okay, let's see. I think we're getting near the end here. Amazing. Okay. You guys, what your favorite fast food? We'll have to talk about that, Mitch. We'll have to talk about it tomorrow. I don't eat a whole lot of fast food. Yeah, I don't eat a whole lot of fast food, but thank you so much. Okay, we're getting there. We're almost at the bottom. I can feel it. Oh, and I'm going to go eat. I'm so hungry. Hey. Hockey Guy 228, Donna Real. Good choice following Ducks. At least they're close to you. I miss Hockey Guy. I miss where you said the Ducks, but that's your team. That's so cool. That's so cool. Okay, guys. It is 1:22. I think my table is going to be ready now at 9:30 late. Or what time is it? No. 1:23. Okay, maybe 9:15. All right. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Thank you so much. Again, thank you for all the comments. I'm just going to flip through here real quickly. Guys, I'm sorry if I missed any questions. I'll have to do another question period again. I've run out of time, but I do want to say, I do want to say thank you for everyone for tuning in. Thank you for having a little bit of faith. Thank you for your comments, the ones that weren't vile and nasty, even the comments that did not agree or thought I was doing something that I was not doing. I still appreciate your voice and the fact that you spent the time to do that. Everyone have a wonderful night. I'm going to go eat some food. I'm off tomorrow, so I'm looking forward to a wonderful day off. And guys, I will talk to you tomorrow for sure. Okay.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?